Okay.
Hi and welcome to another edition of winemastery.co. I'm John Lightfoot and this is
John Murphy.
Hi, and we're here again to talk about wine and try and help you accelerate your way into finding the wines that you like. So this is going to be our first tasting. It's all going to be about white wine, and we're going to start with three grapes, I understand, John.
We are indeed,
okay.
yeah.
Which ones are we going to try?
Today I thought we're going to try the three kind of basic ones which everybody does know, and then we'll try and get a better understanding of those, or their style. So we're going for a Sauvignon, a Chardonnay and a Pinot Grigio, because these do tend to be kind of fashionable and popular.
Okay, well let's we're going to kick off with what do we do first? How do we start to taste wine?
Well, first of all, one tip I like to give is when you are actually drinking wine, to improve your wine drinking. A lot of people come home from work and they're a wee bit stressed, and the first thing they'll do is grab a glass of wine. But it has actually been proven that kind of when you get home stressed, it reacts with your taste buds of the wine, so it can taste. You may have noticed it yourself. It might taste a little bit. Your red wines will taste a little bit bitter almost and harsh. So what I always recommend before actually trying any wine is having something that you like. Like for instance, gin and tonic is my favourite tipple. So I'll have a gin and tonic or something just to kind of warm the taste buds up.
With or without lemon, does it matter?
It doesn't matter, no. But for like real tasting of wine, what I tend to do is your first taste doesn't really do much. You need to have a little 2 sips. So what we're going to start on is, I think if we start the lighter grape and then work our way up.
Okay.
So I would suggest we start on the Pinot Grigio, move to the Sauvignon, and then I would go to the Chardonnay.
God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I'll pour.
So we mentioned this before, glasses at this stage doesn't really matter?
Not really, not at this stage. Obviously as we go further down the line we'll get a little bit more intricate, get a bit more into it as such. Yeah, we're going to be very very basic we're starting with.
Goodness me. And what sort of temperature, does the temperature matter?
Well, yeah, it can do. Well, for white wine, yeah. I mean, generally, there's you can have, it's 12 degrees would be chilled, but I'd have it very chilled, which is about 6 degrees. But there is a kind of a trick as well in the wine world. Obviously, the more you chill it down, the kind of more flavour you kind of lose as such. It masks that flavour. Obviously, the warmer the wine gets, the more flavour you get through there. So if you are tasting wine and wanting to pull those flavours, I'd probably recommend 10 to 12 degrees.
10 to 12?
10 to 12.
So how do people tell that, unless they've got thermometry in? What's the...
Well, it'd just be your fridge will be set to a certain... Yeah.
Just cool, not...
Cool, not too cold. No, if it's too ice cold, it as I say, just kills flavours.
Okay.
And that's not a good thing. Not if you're wine tasting anyway.
Not if you're wine tasting.
Not if you're wine tasting.
Maybe if you want a cold, refreshing drink, it's alright, but...
Yeah. If you're having a little go at it, yeah, I'd recommend keeping it up 10 to 12.
Okay. Whoa, I'm so excited.
Right,
this is going to be the first taste,
This is your first taste.
Right.
You don't have to drink it all.
Right.
As I say, yeah, there are lots of little bits and pieces you should be looking for, but as I'm going to keep this fairly basic to begin with. As you carry on watching, we'll give you the real tips on how to do. We can go down to real professional tasting, but we're going to start very, very easy. Now, the first thing you are going to look at is the colour of it and what you would describe that as. Now, to me, that is quite a light colour. Yep. And sometimes another tip is, especially with red wines, not so much with the whites, but holding it up to the light kind of masks a lot of it. So holding it behind a white piece of paper just can show you the real colour of it. But again, we'll wait till we get further down the line on that. So what I'll notice from that is it's a very pale yellow is that one, and it looks very clean, very fresh.
Yes. Okay.
Now have a little. I know you do go through the stages. The first is obviously what it looks like, the appearance, and then it's on the nose. So we'll have a little smell. Okay.
Do we have to wish it around to do that?
Well, wishing it around does it. It looks a bit pretentious, but it is. It gets the air in there basically, and getting the air in there then helps it. The flavours come out, the aroma come out. So although you see people do that, and you think, oh, what are they doing? It does help. It does. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So you know, it's right in there.
Smells like wine.
It does smell very much like that's well, we're on the right track.
Oh.
Yeah, see that? There's not much there, but as a Pinot Grigio, the Pinot Grigio grape does tend to be quite light anyway, so there isn't much going on there. You know, people who talk about wine or write about wine, they do tend to overcomplicate things quite a lot, and that's why I say people sometimes think they're doing it wrong. You know, if you're listening to them and they're saying you can smell this, this, and this, and you can't smell that, almost like you're like, oh, am I doing it right, kind of thing. But it's a very personal thing, so you just need to go for it. See, that to me is quite light and quite lemony, and there's nothing much more there, and I wouldn't want to overcomplicate and get into more because then you start waxing lyrical about it. So there we've had a little smell, and it smells like it smells fresh as well. It's
Yeah.
clean again. It's not. I mean, we don't actually have a cork in this one, but you can smell sometimes if you have got a corked wine,
Yep.
it can oxidise, which means that the air has got into there, and so it smells a little bit more kind of sherry-ish.
Okay.
Or off. But this is obviously with a screw top, that makes no difference.
Right.
Also, you can actually cork taint as well. That's why it smells a bit musty and foisty, like mushroomy. But obviously, this is absolutely fine.
Okay.
So what we then do is obviously have a little taste. But what I always recommend is the first sip for me just kind of does warm the taste buds up. So have a good swill around in there as
Like
well.
mouthwash?
Just get it like mouthwash, yeah. Get it all around. Now,
What was that noise?
See, I don't even realise I am doing that, but I am doing that, aren't I? Yeah, the slurp, and that again, it's basically getting the air over the wine, onto your taste buds, and it helps you pull more flavours from the wine. So again, although it looks a bit pretentious and snobby, it is quite essential if you're really tasting wine, and to get a grip on the wine you are tasting as such. So your first one, I said, just get warm your taste buds, get that going around there.
Right.
And then the second one for me is then the important one.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do again, maybe take it in and do that kind of little slurpy noise, pull the air in through my mouth there, and then try and find the flavours in there.
Okay.
Now, again, for me, it's still quite a light wine. There's not much complexity there. There's not much I could go into. I mean, if you don't know if you like wine or not, this Pinot Grigio would be a perfect one for you to start on because it doesn't really jet off into any particular style. Very light, very easy. And this is the kind of thing that you could take anywhere. Nobody's going to dislike it as such.
No, very comfortable.
What all I'm getting from there is perhaps maybe crisp green apples and maybe, and see this sounds a bit odd, but a banana.
Really?
Bananas as well. Yeah, just a hint of the banana.
It just tasted like wine to me.
Well, that's what these evenings are about. But you see, and that's all quite light on the acidity as well. To say that as our first wine, usually the acidity can really get you there, but that's quite good.
It is.
And I know personally, I don't know if it's my age, but I sometimes struggle a lot with the acidity. Sometimes it can make quite bad heartburn, and it can be too keen. So that for me would be just perfect. And then from there, so we've had a look at the appearance. We've then had a look at the nose as such, and then we've had a little taste. So the last thing is really the length of the wine. Now, again, for me, that's not really lasted very long. It's like a nice sip, but it's not coming through much.
I must say, when I tried doing the taste lasted longer. I did actually, he was right, it does taste better if you do that. So
it does come through, definitely. It's worth a go, but practice, because sometimes that can go horribly wrong. I've dribbled on myself many times, and when we go to the big tastings, you'll see, like we're just drinking wine here, but they use a spittoon. Now, at tastings, that's quite an essential thing because actually, if you're probably sipping probably 8 different wines, and drinking it numbs your taste buds as such, so you can't really pick more out than after about 8 of them. So we really do need, if you're spitting it out, you're getting all the flavours you need from there, but it's not kind of numbing the taste buds as such. So we have these spittoons at these big tastings. And I say, some people are professionals at this. They can stand 4 foot away and spit in and hit it spot on. I'm not that good at all, but it's always a bit messy around the spittoon. Not a pretty thing to be looking at. But yeah, as I say, we're just drinking here. We're not using the spittoons.
So if someone is looking at the moment, they might be thinking you've just said about bananas and they've tried it like me and they haven't got those, and they think, oh, that's no good for me because I can't. Is it something you can? We're going to develop as
quite possibly, yeah. Because as you try more as well, you get to be able to pick out more subtle flavours. It is finding the subtle difference in each wine. Like, we're very lucky because if you were to have a glass of wine one night and then a couple of nights later you have a different wine, because you're not doing it on a back-to-back thing, you don't often notice those subtle differences. Whereas doing it on a back-to-back, as we are, you get to notice a lot more in there. But no, and also it's a very personal thing. It's very subjective. So although I've just said there the crisp green apples, bananas, and just thinking there like a little bit of honeyed sweetness as well on the finish. It's not overly dry, that, which is surprising for a Pinot Grigio as well. But no, this will definitely come, and that's what we're doing here. This is where we're starting. This is a starting point. As we go on, hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm sure. Well, it's going to be fun trying to get there at least.
Definitely. So That's our Pinot Grigio. As I said, a good kind of, if you don't know what you like, it's a good one to start on because that will let you know where you're going to go from there. Personally, I find that a little bit too light. It's something I could drink. There's not many wines that I can't drink, but yeah, it's a bit light for me. Well, how did you find that?
Yeah, very nice, very quaffable. As you say, I guess it's Pinot is Italian, I assume. Is it Italian?
It is, yeah, Pinot Grigio
So
Italian.
I can imagine eating some pasta with that and or drinking on its own.
Yeah, and you usually find that the cuisine of the kind of area where the wine comes from, it usually matches quite well. Usually, like most of the Italian reds are quite big, high in acidity. And you'll notice like a lot of the kind of cuisine is tomato based, which is also quite high in acidity. So these two tend to cancel each other out, and so work together very well.
Okay.